pot. All right, we're going to pick back up in my little book that I got at the Salvation Army. It is Salt, Lemons, Vinegar, and Baking Soda. The author is Shea Zukowski, and it's hundreds of earth-friendly household projects, solutions, and formulas. A reduce, reuse, recycle handbook. We're still in chapter 1 about salt. This is part 2, and this one begins with laundry uses. Yellowed linens brightener. 1 gallon, 4 liters of water, a quarter cup baking soda, 1 tablespoon salt. Whitening yellowed linens with a commercial bleach solution can seriously weaken the fabric fibers. Instead, try this gentle, easy method for brightening them. Bring the water to a gentle boil in a large pot. Add the baking soda and salt and stir until dissolved. Add your yellow linens and boil gently for an hour, making sure the fabric is completely submerged. Drain and rinse the linens thoroughly in cold water. For best results, allow to air dry in direct sunlight. You can double or triple the formula for larger items. With a grain of salt, Pliny the Elder, Roman scholar, 23 through 79 AD. Color fast laundry. 1 cup vinegar, a half a cup salt, color safe detergent. If you love the color of your new cotton sheets or towels and don't want to see them eventually fade, a little vinegar and salt can help retain their brightness. Before putting your new items to use, fill your washing machine with cold water, add the vinegar, salt, and detergent, and wait a few minutes to let the salt dissolve. Wash your brights with similarly colored items in small loads, and the colors will be set for future washings. Double the amount of vinegar and salt if colors are particularly vibrant. What else can do it? Control the suds. Sure, it's a funny sight gag in the movies to see a washing machine overflowing with bubbles after too much soap has been added, but it's no laughing matter in real life. And with the laundry products more concentrated than ever, it's an easy mistake to make. If you find yourself in such a situation and see the washer starting to spill over, add 1 cup, 300 grams of salt to the load right away. Repeat if necessary. What else can do it? Stop a stain from spreading on a tablecloth. When you notice a small spill on your favorite tablecloth, no need to stop your dinner guest from having a good time. Apply the same technique as described in the egg spill absorber, page 36, and discreetly cover the spill with salt to absorb the liquid and stop the stain from spreading. Proceed to the laundry room as soon as your guests are out the door. Nylon's matchmaker. 1 cup salt, 2 quarts or 2 liters water. Here's a time-honored trick for dealing with nylon stockings that are somewhat similar in color, but don't exactly match. Heat 2 quarts, 2 liters water in a large pot and add the salt. When the salt dissolves, add your mismatched hosiery to the pot and bring to a gentle boil for about 10 minutes. Remove pot from heat and cool to room temperature. Drain and rinse well to remove the salt. Line dry as usual, and you should find all of your stockings have been rendered the same color. Personal uses. Splinter remover. Half a cup Epsom salt, 2 quarts or 2 liters warm water. Before you start digging away at a painful splinter, try easing the way with Epsom salt. Mix the Epsom salt in the warm water and soak the afflicted finger or foot for 15 minutes. The salt will help soften the skin without the wrinkling normally associated with a warm water soak. affording easier access to the splinter. Do you know how important salt is to the human body? Salt is vital to health as it regulates the fluid balance throughout the body. Salt cravings may be caused by trace mineral deficiencies, as well as by a deficiency of sodium chloride itself. Unfortunately, with the abundance of salty, processed foods available, eating too much salt is all too common and has been associated with an increase in a number of health problems. And it says, including high blood pressure. We're finding that is a fallacy these days, just to let you know. If you have high blood pressure, get your magnesium checked. That would be one thing that you will want to do right away. Okay? Soothing foot bath. Half a cup Epsom salt, half a cup baking soda, 1 gallon warm water. Looking for a great way to relax tired, aching feet? Try an old-fashioned foot bath. Simply mix the Epsom salt and baking soda into a large basin of warm water. Slip your feet in and soak for as long as it feels comfortable. Not only will your feet feel and smell great, but this effective combination will soften calluses too. See also muscle ache relief vinegar on page 133. Moisturizing body and facial scrub. A half a cup sea salt, a third cup almond oil, 5 drops lavender essential oil, and that is optional. Pamper yourself at home with an all-natural skin care formula. Pour sea salt into a small plastic container and cover with the almond oil and lavender essential oil if desired. If you mix it, the salt will quickly settle on the bottom. But if you pour the oil over the salt, it will slowly cover it on its own. To use, gently massage a small amount onto wet skin, taking care to avoid eyes and other sensitive areas. Rinse thoroughly and pat dry. Store remaining scrub tightly covered, away from light and heat. See also gentle facial scrub baking soda on page 175. What else can it do? Soften skin with a post-bath salt scrub. Another effective way to a healthy glow is to use salt to slough away dead skin cells. After bathing, stand in the tub and rub a few handfuls of salt into your skin. Rough patches on elbows and knees respond especially well to this treatment. Again, avoid the sensitive areas. Rinse thoroughly with a lukewarm shower and pat dry. Hair revitalizer. 3 tablespoons Epsom salt. 3 tablespoons hair conditioner. Epsom salt can help transform your regular hair conditioner into a once a month deep conditioning treatment that restores body and shine as well as curls if you have permed hair. To use, mix equal amounts of conditioner and Epsom salt in a small bowl. Heat the mixture in the microwave for 20 seconds, stirring well to combine. To apply, wash hair as usual, then work the warm mixture through your hair from scalp to end. Leave on for 20 minutes and then rinse thoroughly with warm water. See also hair clarifying rinse, lemons and salt, page 92. Herbal hair rinse, vinegar, page 135. And what else can it do? Baking soda on page 176. Eye puffiness reducer. Half a teaspoon salt, 1 quart, which is 1 liter, warm water. Eating salty foods can lead to puffy eyes, but ironically, briefly soaking your eyes in a gentle saltwater solution can make them less puffy. Here's how to do it. Add the salt to the warm water and dip 2 cotton balls in the mixture. Lie down on your back, close your eyes, and place the cotton balls over your eyes for 10 minutes. Relax. When you get up, your eyes should appear less puffy. What else can do it? Fight a flaky scalp. Dandruff is caused by the normal shedding of skin cells on the scalp, and it can be terribly unsightly. Excessive brushing can make the problem seem even worse. A gentle way to easily loosen flakes before shampooing is to scrub your scalp with table salt. The salt crystals are much smaller than the bristles on a brush, resulting in a finer polish, and they'll dissolve quickly once you wet your hair. This treatment is more difficult with longer locks. Follow up by using a little less shampoo than normal because salt may intensify the lather. And then it says, see also dandruff and oily hair fighter lemons on page 91, and dandruff fighter making baking soda on page 177. Sore throat soother. 1 teaspoon salt, 1 cup warm water. The next time a sore throat has you down, try easing the pain with this simple formula. Pour the salt into the warm water and stir until dissolved. Gargle a swig of this mixture for 5 to 10 seconds. Try not to swallow and repeat. Use 2 to 3 times a day. The salt will reduce inflammation and speed healing. Leech remover. 1 handful salt. If you happen to emerge from a refreshing dip in a freshwater swimming area with a few leeches stuck to your skin, a sprinkle of salt is all you need to get them to release their grip. They release a powerful anesthetic when attaching themselves to your skin, so you're not likely to feel a lot of pain. But to prevent infection, you should follow up with regular first aid as you would an ordinary cut or scratch. Sinus congestion reliever. 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup warm water. When cold and flu seasons hit, dealing with a stuffy nose can become incredibly irritating, especially when regular blowing doesn't seem to clear things up. However, a gentle dose of saline a few times a day can help ease swelling and loosen mucus. Simply dissolve the salt in the warm water, let the mixture cool to body temperature, and then pour a small amount into the palm of your hand. Gently sniff the water into the clogged nostril while you press the other nostril closed with your finger. Repeat it if necessary. Do you know what a neti pot is? A neti pot is a ceramic pot that looks like a miniature teapot and is used for irrigating nasal passages. It is especially helpful to those with chronic sinus problems. Used for centuries in India as part of the Ayurvedic yoga tradition, neti pots have become mainstream. Use the sinus congestion reliever above and follow the manufacturer's instruction when using a neti pot. I have never used one myself, but others have. Household uses. Wall patcher. 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons cornstarch, 5 teaspoons water. No need to buy a whole container of patching compound to fill a few nail holes in a wall when you can whip up a batch of this simple home formula instead. Combine the salt, cornstarch, and water in a small bowl and stir to make a thick paste. Apply the paste to the nail holes with a putty knife and let dry. Rub lightly with sandpaper until smooth and then paint to match your wall. Wit is the salt of conversation, not the food. William Hazlitt, British essayist, 1778 to 1830. Artificial flour cleaner. 1 to 2 cups salt. Some artificial flowers can look amazingly real, but a thin layer of dust on seemingly fresh petals is always a dead giveaway. Conventional dusting methods can make the problem even worse by driving dirt deeper into the flower. A great way to dust a small arrangement is to fill a paper bag with 1 to 2 cups salt. A plastic bag works well too, if the flowers will fit. Place the arrangement inside and secure the top. Give the bag a few gentle shakes, and the salt will brush the leaves and petals free of the dust. What else can do it? Keep artificial flower arrangements in place. Here's a cheap way to keep your flower arrangements picture perfect. It's especially handy if it's hard to use the usual arrangement tools because the mouth of your vase is narrower than the base. Simply fill the container with salt before arranging your flowers, and then pour a small amount of water over the salt once you're done arranging. Make sure to keep the arrangement undisturbed for the next few days. As the water evaporates, the salt will harden and keep the stems of your creation exactly where you want them to be. Thermos and cooler deodorizers. 3 handfuls salt. Salt has natural deodorizing properties that can work wonders on the stale smells that develop in closed containers like thermoses and coolers. Simply toss a few handfuls of salt into the container and let it sit for 24 hours. Rinse clean, and smell should be noticeably absent. Better yet, get in the habit of putting a little salt in your containers before storing them. Make sure to rinse well before using them again. And that's something. Easy air freshener. 1 cup salt, quarter cup dried lavender, 3 to 5 drops essential oil, optional. Mix the salt, lavender, and essential oil, if desired, in a decorative bowl or jar for an inexpensive air freshener. The scent will be strong for the first few days. As it dissipates, you can simply give the jar a quick stir to refresh. The fragrance will last for about a month, after which you can use the mix in your bath. See also lemon air freshener, lemons and baking soda, page 97. Brass cleaner. 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons flour, 1 to 2 teaspoons vinegar. In lieu of a toxic brass polisher, combine equal parts flour and salt in a small bowl and add just enough vinegar to make a paste. Use a soft cloth to apply the mixture to the brass item. Wear rubber gloves, as this can be a dirty process if the item is heavily tarnished. Rinse thoroughly with water and dry with a clean, soft cloth. This formula can be easily doubled for larger items. Tip: before attempting to clean a tarnished brass item, hold a magnet up to it to see if it really is brass. If the magnet sticks, the object is likely brass plated and can be easily damaged by the abrasiveness of salt. See also brass cleaner, lemons, and baking soda on page 96. Rust remover. 1 teaspoon salt, a half a lemon. Here's a quick and easy way to remove rust spots from small chrome appliances, utensils, or bicycle handles. Simply sprinkle salt on the cut side of the lemon half and rub over the rust spots. Repeat if necessary. Rinse thoroughly with water and dry with a soft cloth. Straw broom life extender. 1 cup salt, 1 gallon, 4 liters, warm water. Here's a tried and true way to make a new straw broom last longer. Before use, dissolve the salt in a bucket of warm water. Let the broom bristles soak for 20 minutes. Then drain and let the broom air dry. This process will help stiffen the bristles and make the broom much more durable. No drip candles. A third cup salt, 2 cups warm water. No drip candles are a great idea, but they're typically more expensive than their regular burning counterparts. You can render tapered candles practically drip proof with a simple overnight soak in salt water. Mix the salt and warm water in a plastic container wide enough to hold the candles. Stir until the salt is dissolved and add the candles. Put a can or other weight on top of the candles to keep them submerged and soak overnight. Let the candles dry completely before using. Tip: for best results, make sure the burning candle is perfectly upright and in a draft-free place. Both factors can make a candle burn unevenly, which may result in dripping. Muddy carpet cleaner. 1 handful salt. The next time someone tracks mud onto your carpet, resist the urge to blot it out dry, as this would drive dirt deeper into the fibers. Instead, toss a handful of salt on the mess and walk away. The salt will absorb the liquid, making it easy to vacuum up when dry. Blood stain remover for carpets. 1 handful salt, half a cup cold water, half a cup hydrogen peroxide. Need to treat a blood stain on carpet? Start by covering the area with salt to help absorb some of the blood. Next, mix equal parts cold water and hydrogen peroxide in a small bowl. Dampen a clean cloth with the mixture and use it to dab at the salt until the clump forms. Gently blot the stain and repeat until the stain disappears. Rinse by blotting with a clean cloth dampened with fresh water. Note: do not use warm water as this can set the stain, and test on an inconspicuous area first. And that concludes part 2 of chapter 1 concerning salt. These are just like really wonderful little handy things. I mean, really, I'm really enjoying this. Okay, so until next time, brothers and sisters, keep your eyes on Jesus and your nose in the book, which is the Word of God, and let us embed the Word of God upon the tablets of our hearts, so you and I will not sin against God or be deceived. Have a great day. Bye-bye.